And so the scholarship, because we used to study so hard, we were in the library like for hours, especially me, because even though English is my first language, but I did really struggle with English when I got here, and it was really hard for me. So I actually had to spend a lot of hours, and when I'm not in class or not working, I'm in the library or in the reading and writing center, having someone helping me, you know, like that. And so we got a lot of scholarship, and those scholarships cover up um for our school supplies. And we also had some really good friends on campus that their parents, like for example, we had a friend, her name is Jeanette. I think she's in Connecticut or Indiana or someplace. Jeanette, I'm gonna be calling your name all the time, because what you did for me and my family, words cannot describe. Only somebody who has God in them could do that. And so Jeanette became a really good friend for our family, since she was my visiting teacher, and she fell in love with my family, and she got her parents involved, uh, and they just loved us till today. They still love us like even more. Yeah. And so if we weren't able to cover up our fees, like we never had any family members here, so we were like on our own. So we didn't have people to call on to help us with rent, because we had to pay rent too. I remember we were paying $625 for a 2-bedroom apartment. And so we needed help in so many ways. I'm telling you, we needed help in so many ways. But Gina, as my visiting teacher at that time, she just stepped. Her name is Gina Fox. Yeah, she stepped in, and like nobody else, like God just sent Jeanette to me and my family. That's how it worked. Jeanette stepped in. She called her mom and her dad. She talked to them. She told them about us. They like they knew us. Like I said, guys, if you've been watching and following my video, my life is a miracle. I am a miracle. As far as I can remember, I don't remember anything that happened in my life that doesn't or didn't turn out to be a miracle. And when I look back, I'm like, yeah, if God wants something to happen, there is no other way anybody else, not even the devil, can come in between. And so Jeanette's parents, Emma and Larry Fox, they stepped in and they started to help us too. Because even though we're getting scholarships and stuff, but it wasn't enough. We needed more help. College is expensive, guys. It's very expensive, very stressful. Ah, especially if you don't have anybody to help you. And so Emma and Larry, they stepped in and they started to help us. And it was tough. The church that I'm in, we have something called the bishop storehouse, and that bishop storehouse allows your bishop to help you with things like food if you don't have food or can't afford food for your family. Help you with food, but that help is not for a long time. It's not long term. It's just to help you until you can get back on your feet. And that your bishop, depending on the bishop that you got, he will help you for the longest until he sees that, okay, you guys are okay now and you don't need the help from the from the church anymore. At least you don't need help right now, so we're gonna move on and let you guys practice self-allowance. And that's what we did. We were talking to the bishop, and he was helping us with food, mostly food, just food. And we talked to Emma and Larry, and they would sometimes help with our rent, and they would even sometimes send us money to help with food, because there are things that in the bishop store that we need, and the bishop storehouse did not carry it at that time. Things like fish, things like because we are African, we try to adapt and adjust to the food. It was really, really, really hard. And so we, once in a while, we just go like, oh gosh, we need to eat something from home. Yes. So Emma and Larry, they help us a lot. And through Jeanette, my visiting teacher. I gotta go like this. So Jeanette helped us, and we were able to get enough food to eat. And the church too, our bishop at that time, he was really a nice person. He was always willing to help us. But it depends on the bishop. Like I said, we change bishop every time, and the bishop that we met there, I think he was just there for like a year, and then they had to change him. And the next bishop that came was not like nice like the other bishop. He was so mean. You would not believe. When we asked him, I remember one time we asked him for food, and that bishop came to our house. That bishop came to our house unexpectedly to us while we were studying. He said, I want to, you guys ask for food, right? And we said, yes, we did. And he said, I want to make sure that you guys are telling me the truth, that you don't have food. Because some people lie. They say they don't have food, but they do have food. What? My husband and I, we were shocked. Look, it's crazy. Yeah, I should have started from here. We were shocked. We could not believe what we just heard and what we were witnessing. He opened up all our cover. He went and opened the refrigerator. He opened the freezer. He opened all the cupboards and looked in there to see if we have food or we were lying to just get food. That's what he said. That thing really hurt me. But, I'm so grateful for my husband because, oh my gosh, he's a very patient man. And I know it's a thing that God gave him. Because, he was born with being patient. With just me alone, I would have just pushed that bishop out of my house. I don't take mess. That's me. But my husband calmed me down. And he took his time. The bishop, he opened all the cover, all the closet. He opened it up. He looked everywhere, all in the freezer. He looked in the refrigerator pot. And that time, we never had any food at all. We were totally out of food. We didn't have any milk. And we had our 6-year-old with us. We didn't have anything. And after he looked everywhere and he saw that we really didn't have food, then he said, oh, well, you guys were actually telling the truth. You really don't have any food. I will have the Relief Society president come and get you food. I wanted to say something, but my husband kept squeezing my I really wanted to just cuss him up. Boy. And so he left, and that's when I called. I was so upset. And my husband didn't want me to, have any interaction with the bishop that way, go, because we're on campus. They have all sort of rules. You had the dress rule, which is the honor code, and you also that the honor code kind of covers everything, all the rules on campus. You're not supposed to say any bad word to out there, which is good. I don't even do that. I was raised like, if you said a bad word to somebody, you would get beat. That's how I was raised. So I wasn't raised to say bad words. So that was okay with me. And then the way you dress too, you have to look. So you had to look really good. You don't like wear things that will show off your body, which is good too. I like that. And so, but the honor code was a very big deal. So we had to be careful because, man, we are African. Nothing we do is good anywhere. They always try to find the negative part. And so whatever we did, it was just, let's just forget it. So I called Emma and I explained to her what happened. The bishop, he came in and just opened all our food cover and started to look, because he said he didn't believe that we didn't have food, and that we might have been lying. And so Emma said she was going to talk to the bishop, and actually she said, don't worry, we'll make sure that you guys will have food. Emma used to send us money for food. And I remember one time she sent her son Larry, her older son name is Larry, and she sent him there with a car full of food. Not only food, but everything that somebody would need in a house, or family would need in a house. Emma did that. And we didn't have to worry about food because she was taking care of us real good. But she had her own problems too. She had her family to care for. She can't continue taking care of us like that. That's not fair. My husband thought, you know what? We have to give this family a break. We have to give them a break. But Emma never hesitated. She told us once, she said, look, I know how it is when you're in college and you don't have anything. I know, because I was there. I've been there before. And so don't hesitate. If you need anything, just let me know. And so that's what we did. And Emma kept helping us until we graduated from college. And I learned how to sew a little bit, not much, while I was in college, because I took one semester of sewing, elementary sewing, like I said. And my love for sewing to even start to be even greater. Yeah, start to be even greater. And that bishop never helped us. We were having issues with not only the bishop, we were having issue with everybody that we wanted, that we asked for help. you know. And I remember one time we were about to be kicked out of our apartment. We never had money to pay um our rent, you know. And so we were about to be the guy there. He's like, if you guys don't pay your rent, I'm gonna kick you out of the apartment. You're gonna eviction. I came to America before I even know what that word eviction word is. Yeah. And so yeah, um they was gonna evict if we didn't pay our rent. And so we like, they do have scholarship for such things. They did have scholarship for such things and on campus. And so we went to the office and asked if we could, you know, get that scholarship and get our rent paid at least for 6 months. And the guy that was in charge, he was second in charge for this. So he will, you know, make the checks for the scholarships. And then if they don't give us the check, they don't give us the money directly, they give it to the department. Like if you need to get your rent paid, they will send the rent to the department. If you need to buy your books, they will send the money or put it on a voucher and you take it to the bookstore, you know, stuff like that. So we didn't get the cash. And so he will be the one to make that, you know, check and stuff. And then there's a other lady there. Her name was Norma Teo. Wicked woman. She will be the one to. She's a Polynesian. Yeah. She wasn't nice to me. I don't know about other, but she wasn't nice to me. Maybe she was nice to other, but not to me and my husband. Just to make that clear. She will be the one to approve of any funds or scholarship going out to students. And the man did wrote the scholarship up for 6 months rent, and waiting for Normandy to approve of it so that we can get our rent paid so they don't kick us out, right? All right. She called me in the office because I was head of everything. I was in control of everything. I was making sure that it gets done, you know. And my husband knows me. When I'm like wanting for something to happen, if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna stop until it happens. And so she called me in the office and she said, why do you need 6 months rent money? And I said, what kind of question is that? If I ask for 6 months money, that means I don't have money and I need it because we're already late for 1 month. And so yeah, we're already late for 1 month, and that was critical. And this is the 2nd month we were in now. So I told her, we don't have the money that we're making here, everything goes back to the school, and we don't have the money to pay for rent. And that's why we need at least 6 months so that we can be able to, you know, catch up with our rent. And so because right now we're going to be evicted, we just got the letter, and I showed her the letter. She already had the letter. And she's like, oh yeah, I saw the letter, but in 6 months it's too long. We can't give you 6 months. We can only pay you for 1 month. And I went back to the guy that did the checks and the second in charge, and I told him that Norman Teal said, I'm so sorry, I don't even know that man's name, but he was really good. If I see him right now, I would still know him because he was really nice. And he said, what? She canceled the whole 6 months check that I made for you guys. She canceled it. I see here that she canceled it. But don't worry. Let me get back to you. And so I had 24 hours or else we were going to be evicted. Where were we going to go? We don't know anybody. We don't have anybody. Where were we going to go? Where were we going to take our son? I was so worried, and I was so frustrated, and it was very stressful, you know, especially you on campus trying to get by, trying to make good grades to stay in school, because the status that we were on, the scholarship that we came on, you have to make good grades to stay in school. If you don't make good grades and your grade is below C, you're going home. So we had to really make good grades. And so that's what we were doing. We were busy studying so hard because we had to make good grades, at the same time deal with life, being on campus, you know. And so he said I would get back to you. And waiting for him to get back to me is not, time is not on my side. And so I called Emma, and I was in tears. And I explained to her what had happened. And she was shocked. She was like, what? I'm going to call this school right now. And she kind of tried to calm me down that day. And she called the school, and our rent was paid. So Emma realized that, whoa, this is not good. They are struggling. Struggling. So Emma started to help us with rent and all little things that we needed. My son dental, she used to pay for his dental, like if he had to go see the dentist or if he had to go see the doctor, you know, stuff like that. Emma paid for all those stuff, and it was only because her daughter Jeanette. And that's how we were able to survive the 6 years we spent in Hawaii at BYU-H. That's how we were able to survive, I mean, through the help of Jeanette, parents, Emma and Larry. And so when we graduated, Emma and Larry, they said, you guys should come in, you know, work with us, and we'll be able to help you guys. And that's how when we graduated, we moved to Vancouver. But we wanted to go to school, we wanted to continue our education. We moved to Vancouver in December 2006, I think. And we wanted to continue our education. And so we wanted to come to go to BYU here. I wanted to go get my psychology degree. I want to go for a master's degree in psychology because I did social work, so I wanted to, you know, mix it up. And it's kind of related too. And so we decided to come to Utah. And when we came to Utah, the programs that they had in Hawaii at that time that allows you to work on school campus and pay your school fee and also apply for scholarships for you to be able to buy your books and supplies and everything. They did not have that program here at that time. And so we couldn't go forward to continue our education. we had to just stop. And I was on F1, student status, and I did my OPT with Emma. I did I did my OPT with Emma. We didn't take too long there. We did part of it because it's a 1 year thing they give you. You have to do it for 1 year. And so I was on the F2 status, and when you're on F2 status, you're not allowed to work in the country. You're not allowed to travel. No work, no travel, no nothing. You only have to work with the school that you are attending. And since I wasn't attending any school because they did not have that scholarship that continues, so I had to like stay home, you know. And that's where the hustle and bustle begin. And this will be on a next movie, a next video.